But I was a virgin doing this, keep in mind. Like, super awkward, low confidence.
You got no game, bro.
Probably not, man.
Are you more attracted to white girls?
A white girl who only dates black men?
Bro. Oh, bro. It's not that big of a deal. Like, why are you getting upset about it?
I wasn't expecting you to be like this.
How has the game changed for you as you've gotten clout, money?
They will only match you and pair you with the most attractive woman on the app. So I don't even see like 5s and 4s.
What made you choose her, right? Because you do have options.
A masculine behavior, a woman who might have OnlyFans or nothing but ass pictures.
I'm in, bro. I'm in.
Before you go, would you like for me to make you your breakfast? I know you like 4 eggs in the morning and a smoothie.
I'd be okay going back to living broke, man. Bro. All right, Austin Dunham.
What's up, man?
Welcome, bro. I keep telling people welcome when I'm like your home state.
Right.
So welcome to the podcast. I guess welcome me to Miami. It's funny because we met in Venice, right?
Yeah, in LA, man, Gold's Gym.
Was that 2019?
That was 2019, yep.
That was like a few months before the pandemic hit, right? I believe.
Yep, it sure was. It was that summer, I believe. Yeah,
I was there with Dave, my buddy, who I think you know Dave now. Mm-hmm. And we were out in like that outdoor area, and you were doing some crazy ass like handstand push-ups.
Yeah, and I was like, wait a minute, I've seen that guy from YouTube before. Let me say what's up.
And I saw you from YouTube before as well.
Yeah.
And that was the beginning. Then we met here maybe like 2 years ago, right? That was probably 2021-ish, into 2021. Mm-hmm. That's when I came to Fresh and Fit. We hung out a little bit. We hopped on Fresh Fit together actually a little bit with the after hours.
Yeah, the spontaneous after hours, yeah.
I'm always tired on those, man. It's funny because I did that show yesterday. I got so much hate in the comments for being like tired, but I'm the type of guy who, okay, jet lag aside, because also Spain's 6 hours ahead. So by the time that show started, you know, I've only been away from Spain the last 4 days, so I'm not fully acclimated. And in Spain, it would have been like 8 a.m. by the time they started the show. Yeah. And I'm already kind of a little bit of a bitch, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm always the friend who'll be like, bro, why are you going home already? Mm-hmm. But
hey, you stuck it through, man. Those were long shows, so I would be tired too, honestly.
Yeah, people don't realize, I don't think, like how tiring podcasting is, because you have to be like locked into the conversation. Yeah,
facts. Yeah.
If you it's not like you can sit there like mumble a little bit. Maybe I did that last night, but
you actively have to be thinking, use your brain. You know.
Yeah,
it is pretty difficult over a long period of time. Yes.
And you know, when you're on those Fresh Fit shows and there's a bunch of girls, you have to like almost fight to speak. Mm-hmm. The path of least resistance isn't that they're going to be like, okay, now, Austin, what do you think about this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why a lot of times I've been on there, I just kind of like sit back and just chill. Because I'm naturally not like a really opinionated, talkative sort of person. I've always been like the more sit back, chill guy. So naturally in those environments, I tend to resort back to that. And I got to remember to literally tell myself to be more active and engaged.
It's funny, man. I think there's a lot of parallels between us. And like the more I get to know you, the more I see them. We can get some of them in terms of our content. But I didn't know that you were like more of a quiet guy, because you come off as very confident. Mm-hmm. And I'm someone who's always been really quiet. And when I was younger, I think that made me a bit like ashamed and feel really insecure. And a lot of my journey wasn't necessarily becoming more talkative. It was almost becoming this comfortable not having to talk a lot.
Yeah, I think as I've grown older, I've grown more into being okay with the fact that I don't always have to say something. I remember when I was younger, being in groups, I always feel like I have to say something because it was almost frowned upon to be the quote unquote quiet guy. I'm sure people have asked you, oh, why are you so quiet? Or like, you know, questions like that.
Yep.
Whereas is looked down upon. But over time, I realized, and when I actually listen to conversations, people really aren't talking about anything, man. Like these conversations are really like stupid for the most part. And so maybe that's just my high intellect, high social IQ, which I believe plays a part into it. The fact that I am very socially aware in regards to the things I say. And so I think a lot of reserved guys and quiet guys, outside of the genuinely just having nothing to say, is that it's a fear of judgment of if you do say something, how will other people perceive it? So I think over time, as my confidence and maturity has grown, I just stopped caring because I realized most conversations aren't really high IQ anyway, according to the group that you're in. And so just speaking your mind, saying whatever when the time comes, if anything is in there in the first place, then it really isn't that big of a deal. But yeah, I would say overall, I am confident in my social abilities now, and that's not a big deal to me like it used to be back when I was younger.
And how has that affected your dating life? Because for me, I thought that was a reason I would never be successful with my dating life. Back in the day when I was getting no chicks, right? I thought like I'm going to have this like loud. This is back in the day of like the mystery method and like the old school pickup artists where like basically what they were preaching was like you have to like put on like a show almost for the women you're talking to, right? You're almost like a little like circus clown, like you have to like entertain them. I was like, bro, there's no way I could do this like ever. Like I'm screwed. And for me, I think I eventually adapted my game. But I'm curious for you, how did you have to adapt your game to your more like quiet nature?
Yeah. So with my game, I remember back when I was younger, I was studying the mystery method and the PUA, but I was a virgin doing this. Keep in mind, like
so I was as well, bro. I was as well.
I was super inexperienced, still learning all these tactics and stuff and confidence and dancing monkey sort of thing. And I just never fit with my personality and vibe. So I think as time progressed with the social media age and with dating apps becoming more and more popular, that's just something I naturally gravitated towards and was naturally good at because I was doing content already. So I learned from there how to take good pictures and really present myself online. And that's where my whole dating strategy, where I've seen the most success from, came from that. Came from more of an online digital presence, more so than approaching 5 girls and entertaining all girls and doing all. I've never been into stuff like that. I've met girls in person, keeping like cold approach, all the above, but more so the digital way. And that's where my position of leverage is at. Because in dating, I believe a lot of things are really about leverage. You got to find your leverage.
You got no game, bro.
Okay, man, game is different for everybody. Some guys say, oh, he just relies on his looks, but looks is game. It's an aspect of leverage. So I'm leveraging my looks as a part of my game. Game equals a game plan, a strategy to get the results or outcome that you want. And that's just a part of my game.
Yeah, obviously I'm giving you shit because when I've uploaded my like approach videos in the past, and that's what a lot of my like early content that caught on was. I was never the guy like making the girl like laugh out loud in the first 10 seconds of the approach and like spinning her around or some shit, right? And I always got a lot of hate from like PUAs. They're like breaking down my footage. There's a lot of guys who've broken down my footage. Be like, this guy, he didn't push pull or he didn't nigger. And what I realized was the most important thing is just like taking the shot, right? You can have like a kind of quiet interaction with the girl. Doesn't mean you're insecure. Maybe a lot of for me was maybe cutting out like awkward mannerisms when I wasn't talking, just being comfortable, kind of like you're doing right now. It's kind of like looking at the girl, taking in what she's saying. And I found what I'd call it kind of like a silent killer game where I could sit there, be kind of quiet, still have confident mannerisms when I did speak to the girl, be okay, maybe challenging her, allowing her to talk. But just by like taking the shot at the end, hey, do you want to hang out sometime? We're hanging out. Hey, you want to come back to my place? It's like, wait, just saying these things, just taking these steps, like is actually getting results, even though I'm not like, I don't know, this wild pickup guy.
Yeah, and that's your game plan. That's where you find what works best for you is just simply taking the shot, whether it be in a more reserved approach or a more super confident, outgoing approach. The point in the middle is the fact that both people took the shot. That's even how, back in my unconfident days, how I met my first long-term girlfriend was at a party. I remember I've seen her around campus like multiple times, and her archetype was like Pocahontas. She had long black hair, like this Filipino girl, very attractive. I would always see her walking around. I remember one day at a party, it was leaving at the end of the year. I just decided just randomly to approach her. I didn't think about it. I just act instinctively. And then from there, I'm pretty sure the interaction was super awkward, low confidence. But the point is, as we said before, I just took the shot. And then from there, that led to us connecting a few days later because I got her Facebook. I was too scared to ask for her number, I believe. I got her Facebook, and then we started messaging. And then she came back that summer. I was back in town. We hung out more, and that turned into a relationship, bro. All from me taking a shot, even in an unconfident way.
Yeah, and doing a lot of unideal things, right? I think that's something why you also realize if a girl's attracted to you, you can do kind of like stupid things or like things that seem like weird, but maybe it comes off as like cute or innocent to her, as long as you actually take the shot. Because if you don't take the shot, then the friend zone is usually what happens, you know?
That's true.
So something I get a lot when I meet someone in person who's seen my content, and maybe this is like, I don't know, my girlfriend's or my wife now, like her friend or something, I get a lot like, oh man, he's like so quiet in person. Like when I watch your videos, it's almost like you're a whole different person. Do people say that stuff to you?
I've never gotten that, no, because I've never been in a position to have that happen. So, for example, a girl I'm seeing, her friends, they don't watch my videos. I don't talk about my YouTube channel, man. That stuff is secret. For the most part, any girl I meet or seeing that's not for that long of a period, all they think is that I have an Instagram account. they have no idea about my YouTube channel. So I keep that kind of portion of my life and all that stuff pretty private with.
And even if you meet people from back in the day who knew you before YouTube, they don't make that comparison. Like, oh, you seem a lot different in the YouTube video.
No, maybe they have thought that, but it's never been outwardly directed or spoken to me. No, I think because just my content style, we probably have a bit different content style in that regard. Whereas a majority of my content, I'm really just giving information. I might show like different personality stuff about myself, but for the most part, I'm just giving information. So it's always in a cool, calm, collected way, regardless, you know? So yeah, I never gotten that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sometimes a lot of people say, like, oh, you're not that, talkative. I'm like, yeah, but if I filmed a YouTube video without talking, it wouldn't be much of a
Exactly.
video,
Yeah. But I think on the other hand, what I get is that people expect me to be a certain way. And then when they figure out that I'm not, they're pretty shocked and almost shocked in a positive way though. With girls especially, because let's say I go out on a date, just from looking at my Instagram, maybe some of my content, they may think I'm this like super extroverted, outgoing, arrogant guy. And then I'm sitting there like pretty chill, having a nice conversation, being intellectual.
I think that type of game is more effective, man, to be honest. And it's easier. It's way easier, right? The girl's talking most of the time, and I'm kind of just observing and, all right, maybe I'll ask you this next or ask you this next.
One thing I always get is I wasn't expecting you to be like this.
Yeah.
Every
From
single
girls.
time. Yes, every single time.
Well, I guess they see your Instagram. You have very like masculine features, the way you've styled yourself. You're jacked, you're obviously confident. And maybe they're expecting you're going to be the clown PUA, or not the clown PUA. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's more intense.
Yeah, more intense. More so arrogance. You know, they really think, I guess, just the way I look, it looks like I would talk about myself a lot. The way I present myself, my body, fitness, this, that. And so when I actually don't, they're pretty shocked by it. But that could be a part of the game plan too, man.
Yeah. You're almost like throwing them off a little bit, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know,
so
game is game.
This game is game. How has the game changed for you as you've gotten clout through social media, money that's came with that? You've obviously, if you look at Austin Dunham video from 5-6 years ago, you've optimized your looks in terms of your haircut, your facial hair as well. Like you've done some looks maxing as well. How has all of this combination changed from going from maybe what someone would consider an average dude to like a high level dude?
Yeah. The biggest thing I've noticed is just the access has gone a bit easier. So for example, in 2017, 2018, if I'm on Tinder, which it wasn't that popular then, but if I was to get on, like I would be matched with and go out with women I really wasn't so excited about, you know, whereas nowadays I have more women just coming to me naturally.
So what's an example of a girl coming to you?
Check my DMs. Hey, hands. Hey, are you in Miami? Hey, where do you live? Hard eyes, you know, stuff
so
like
usually
that.
from the DM.
Yeah, DMs and also dating apps too. I've done experiments showing my dating app results and the difference between using old pictures versus now. And through optimizing my look, through optimizing myself as a person, through status, all that stuff too. It's just the access and the quality of women I get is just risen. And this is less of a pulling teeth more so thing. And I can find girls who are
You set up the date, they show up.
genuinely interested in me, high interest. Of course, there are girls who are low and medium interest, but I have so many girls who are high interest to where I don't even see the girls who flaked on me or whatever else, you know?
Yeah, and how are dating at like a Tinder, Bumble, a Hinge? Because the last time that I was single, this was back 2016, 2017, before I developed myself a lot, I would assume that like, how many like really like attractive girls do you actually meet on those apps? Because I'd imagine it'd be more through Instagram, and the girls who are super attractive and have a lot of options, maybe they're not spending that much time on the dating apps.
It really depends on what city you're in too. That plays a huge factor in regards to quality of women. So if you're like in Oklahoma, it's gonna be hard to come across more attractive women versus you living in Miami.
And then here they're on the dating apps as well, just because there's so many of them.
Exactly. So from my experience, I've definitely met the most attractive woman from Instagram. If I had to think about the most attractive woman I've been with, but on dating apps, I would say more so not Tinder but Hinge, man. Hinge's algorithm is like very prime. And so if you got good pictures and you're getting good results, meaning a lot of women are swiping on you, they will only match you and pair you with the most attractive woman on the app. So I don't even see like 5s and fours and
So it's a little bit less like filtering and digging than Tinder, for example.
yeah. Tinder in regards to quality is like it's hit or miss. You know.
Yeah, I've seen that. Granted, outside the States, I think from my experience, like when I was living in Spain, being single, and that may have changed. Again, that's still 6 years ago, but like there wasn't enough volume to use like a Bumble or a Hinge. Everyone, the people that were on there were on Tinder. So
Nowadays, everybody's on Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, but Hinge is gaining a lot of popularity, especially with attractive women. Some attractive women will say, "I'm not on Tinder, but I'm on Hinge."
okay,
You know, it's that vibe.
Yeah, I got that. Now, what does your day look like now? Right, I know you've obviously been on a lot of dates. Just hearing some of these references, you have options. What's your day in life look like?
Day in the life.
Dating life.
Oh, dating life. So nowadays, I've definitely slowed down. I've chilled out. That just comes naturally with being more busy with business and having different priorities in my life. I feel like dating is like a skill acquisition. And so when I was in the process of my skill acquisition, I was doing it the most. However, once I've got that skill acquisition, I am confident to say now I can literally go out on a date every single day if I wanted to. I don't want to do that.
It's a lot of time, man.
I'm so tired, man. And so nowadays, I mostly only see one girl over the past 2 years now, and so she's been kind of my main girl, so to speak. So it's pretty chill nowadays. But
What made you choose her, right? Because you do have options.
yeah. So in regards to her, once you date enough women, the benefit of that is that you're able to actually see the green flags and the red flags in women pretty quickly. And so through dating, let's say 20 women, 18 of them are going to be bad. The other one's going to be kind of okay. And then there's one that's going to be really amazing.
You're talking about like 20 first dates.
20 girls in general. It could be first dates, but
these are 20 girls that like, because you take 20 girls off the street, man, it's going to be different than like a man with options having like said, I'm going to give these 20 girls a chance. There's going to be a higher tier of girls. So is this like of the girls you've pre-selected, 20 of them?
Yes, of the girls I pre-selected.
So 20 attractive girls.
Yeah, high interest in me, attractive, blah, blah, blah. Most women are, from my experience and dating experience, are not wifey material.
I know a lot of, I could rattle off a lot of red flags, but what are the main ones that immediately disqualify those 18? Like top
disqualify masculine behavior, I can catch up on promiscuous signs in a woman pretty quickly, just how she speaks, her Instagram. I have like attractive women who are into me, high interest, but I look at their Instagram and it's like nothing but ass pictures. You're immediately disqualified,
Just don't take them as seriously.
Yeah, like really validation seeking sort of woman. Woman who might have OnlyFans or do any sort of sex work. Woman with just really... I don't want to say daddy issues. That sounds horrible, but with daddy issues, man,
well, you can tell they're carrying some trauma that's like impacting their mental health.
Yeah, the worldview is like just really off, or they may be some feminist characteristics about themselves, like stuff like that.
Those tend to be probably the more masculine behaving girls as well, right?
Exactly.
And that'll get 18 out of 20. You think?
Mm-hmm. That's like the majority of women.
So that's like 90%.
That at least I attract.
That's 90%. Yeah.
Some like. According to who you are as a person and your archetype as a person, you'll attract different types of women. With me being a black man, tattoos, my look that I've given for myself, I've noticed that I attract certain types of women.
Okay, you have a bit more aggressive look, and maybe that attracts some women who are a little more masculine for one reason or another.
Or tend to have...
hoes.
Yeah, tend to have fetishes towards black men. I attract a lot of women like that.
And that's a turn off for you?
Yeah, like if you're like, for example, like a white girl who only dates black men,
yeah,
and like that's like
something a bit odd about that, maybe.
Yeah, that comes off more as like a fetish for me. So stuff like that, I have to navigate through as a black man in the dating scene that other people probably don't realize or would relate to.
Are you more attracted to white girls?
Physically, I would say I'm more attracted to Hispanic and white girls, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And it's not because I don't like black women, because I've been with black women, I've dated black women. I have 2 sisters, black mom, obviously. So I've been around black women my whole life. Yeah. But I like who likes me. That's a part of my dating strategy.
Okay.
And what I've realized through my dating strategy is that Hispanic and white women love me. Well, I check my DMs, I check my matches, white, Hispanic, mix. It's rare that I come across an actually attractive black woman who's not overweight, who doesn't exude masculine characteristics, and it's just overall less volume, because that is a minority black woman. It's rare that I actually really come across one who actually hits all that too. It's super rare.
Okay, so 20 girls, 18 roughly, 90%, that'd be also 9 out of 10, have some red flag where maybe you're just going to keep it strictly casual, or maybe you're not even interested in that because it's not pleasant to hang out with them, or there's just like they're fighting you to be like the masculine energy and the dynamic. It's like, I'm not interested in that. Mm-hmm. Now, this remaining 1 or 2 girls, because they've essentially not maybe proven themselves. They've had a lack of the negative red flags, right? Mm-hmm. So what did the girl who's your main chick now have that made it, not only does she have like a lack of negative things, but like, I want to keep her around for a couple of years, man. Yeah.
I think it comes back down to given value. She just gives so much value to me, man. Like where I don't have to ask for it.
What's an example?
Like early on in the dating stage, might stay the night or whatever. I got a call in the morning. Instead of, let's say, the rest of the girls leaving or, bye, whatever. Before you go, would you like for me to make you your breakfast? I know you like 4 eggs in the morning and a smoothie. Let me do that for you. Here are the ingredients without me having to ask. Mm-hmm. That's value to me. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have to ask for it. That's super special and rare to me. And then also other qualities like personality characteristics, like being really reciprocating, caring, nurturing, just very soft and feminine, having like a delicate nature towards her, like stuff like that, having a good family oriented, having a father in her life, long period of time, having a good relationship with her father, good values, morals.
I think that's one of the biggest ones. If and unfortunately people can't choose this, but if a girl has her parents have a healthy relationship, it's already been like ingrained in her from a young age. And unfortunately in our society, most people don't have healthy parents. So again, it's not that person's fault, but I think that's almost the biggest indicator that they have the right maybe outlook towards relationships.
Mm-hmm. I've noticed women who don't have a good relationship with their fathers or parents in general tend to have just a naturally more negative outlook, or even towards men sometimes. Like they tend to respect men less. Not all of them, but based on my experiences, that has been the case.
I don't know if I'd blame them, because maybe they've been kind of had to fend for themselves for most of their life. And it's just like, in order to survive, and maybe I don't mean literally, but in order to like, operate on a day-to-day basis, maybe they've had to be more independent, right? And that maybe that makes them a little bit less quality of a dating option, but
yeah.
And
you're just not the girl for me. Yeah. Some other guy would be totally okay with that, but just for me and where I'm at in my life with everything I built for myself, I want a girl who just already gets it. And so girl number 20, she just already got it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
I will say that I've experienced, if a girl has a few of these tendencies, obviously if she's got all these tendencies, like whatever, it's a wash, not worth your time. But maybe she says like 1 or 2 of these things, I've experienced setting a boundary, putting it in her place, that sometimes the girl will do a 180. Maybe she's used to with guys. She has to she's not used to having guys who can make the decisions and kind of lead the way forward. So she's like maybe fighting you a little bit on things in the beginning. And you're like, no, like I got us. Like you don't need to do that. And then they can relax a little bit more into like your masculine energy.
I don't believe there's a perfect 10 out of 10 girl in regards to characteristics. They can have mostly positive, but even to some degree, you still gotta, sounds horrible, but like kind of train.
Well, you could say you gotta train them. you could also kind of say, maybe it sounds better, like you have to kind of like create the relationship that you want. And it's on us as men though. We can't take the path of least resistance or hope that she draws the boundaries and she gets in line. It has to be like I'm married now, right? I've had my girl for 6 years, and it's almost like it's like this ball of clay, and like from time to time you have to maybe form it a little bit into something a bit different, and that takes a conscious effort. A lot of times setting boundaries with girls in the short term backfires, right? Like even something with my wife recently, it came up because it's like some like dirty dishes in the sink. This is like not that recently, but right, it was like dirty dishes in the sink. So I was like, oh, can you clean those up and we film it? And she's like, well, like, the housework, so it should be 50-50. And I'm like, all right, let's not get upset about it. Let's sit down, let's talk about this. Obviously, when it comes like the business and things, like you're super helpful. Probably wouldn't be here without you. But on a day-to-day basis, let's talk about like where the time is being spent, where the responsibilities are. So like, maybe in the past, earlier on, we were both working jobs, we were both grinding, that made sense. But that's not really necessarily what makes sense going forward, right? Like I'm gonna need you to step up a little bit in this spot, and then you craft it a little bit.
Yeah. But what if you're in a situation where a girl didn't want to fall in line with those boundaries?
Well, that's the test, right? Setting boundaries is inevitable, and it could be as simple as a girl being on her phone on the first date, right? It could be maybe a relationship example like I just gave. I think the test is not even necessarily how she reacts in that second. Okay, if it's a first date, that's the test. If I say, hey, put your phone away, like we're hanging out, and she's like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, why are you getting upset about it? Well, that date's probably over. But now if it's in a relationship or a girl you're seeing consistently, so obviously she's proven herself to some extent, I think the moment you set a boundary, it's probably not going to be the most, oh, of course, like, no worries, I got you. There's going to be maybe a little defensiveness in the beginning. But does that a few hours later, the next day, does the behavior change? Does it, oh, you know, that makes sense. You know, I can do that. So I think that's the test, is not that they don't automatically respect a boundary that you haven't exercised yet. But once the boundary's been set, after they get past maybe the short-term defensiveness, does the behavior change? Or is it still like, nah, fuck you? Because at that point, that's the real test, right?
Yeah. Hey, I believe every man should set up the relationship for future success. And one way you can do that is by setting boundaries, as you stated. But another way is from going through a vetting period, because what do most guys do? They cuff a girl after a month of knowing her, 3 weeks, sometimes even faster than that, either due to pressure or because like they're the most attractive girl they ever been with. And so through that in itself, you're setting up your relationship for failure because you haven't thoroughly vetted out the girl and set boundaries before you actually got into a relationship with her. And so through that, you'll start to learn all these red flags that you would have learned from through the vetting period. But now when you're actually in the relationship.
But how does a guy stay calm and stay cool in the vetting period, right? Because a lot of guys, like you said, she's hot. She's still down to hang out with me. I'm in, bro. I'm in. Like, you know, and even if we all have friends, right? Or I have my like mentorship program. It doesn't matter what you tell a guy sometimes, right? Because like, they're like, you can explain it to them logically. They're like, yeah, that makes sense. You know, it's the second date. They got a guy in our program, right? The first date, well. Second date is I'm gonna invite her to go on this trip with me and like take her to this concert. I'm like, bro, second date, man. It's like a big investment to make. Like that might be kind of shifting the dynamic where you're the one making all the investment here and she's just like the receiving end. How do you stay cool once you meet a girl who you're excited about? Maybe not. Well, yeah. Hey, yeah. For you, even for you.
The easy answer is to just stay abundant by dating other women and not going into scarcity by only seeing one girl and investing all your time, resources, and energy into one girl so fast. Kind of let her prove herself to you over time by keeping your options open. I think that's the best way you can kind of operate it without going to a big scarcity sort of mindset. And that's what I did too. Like, even if I see those positive characteristics early on, like you still haven't fully proven yourself. Yeah, let's give it some time and let's see if you can really stick to it. Yeah. And then over time, if I want to, that's when I'll sort of limit my options and put you in the main priority position.
Yeah, I tell guys a rule of threes a lot of time, and it starts with a lot of things. But like the two main ones being like 3 months before you like agree to maybe her being your main girl or being exclusive. Anything before that, it's because she's pressuring you or because you feel lonely and you're trying to lock her down. And you don't want to be the one chasing the girl in the relationship. And if you're the one who tries to lock, if you're the one who brings up, let's be exclusive. And I know some guys like, no, but you're like creating what you want. I'm sorry. In practice, I truly believe if you're the one who brings up that conversation, the dynamic is going to be a bit fucked. And then 3 years before marriage, that's just based on statistics, divorce rates, people who date less than a year, sky high. Lowers after that, continues lowering. By the time you get to 3 years plus, it's like statistically obviously shit still happens, right? But it's statistically significant. I think that self-control is tough though.
Yeah, it is. And you know, like I said, it comes from a position of more abundance with women and setting up your relationship for success, as we said, just the vetting period and doing everything you just said by the T. It's hard to do in practice though. It is.
What's your ideal end goal in terms of marriage, spinning plates forever, main girl, but options? What's your ideal end game?
Yeah, so the answer I've noticed with guys in their early 20s, mid 20s, it will tend to change every 2 to 3 years, just due to natural maturity and.
But what's yours now? Because you've developed yourself, you have options, you've built up financial freedom as well.
Exactly, I'm leaning into that because 2 years ago, if you would have asked me this question, I would have been like, you know, don't want kids.
I just want some hoes.
Yeah, you know, I want to hire a woman, you know, stuff like that. But nowadays, I'm looking more at it more so from the fact that I can see myself with a potential family. But whether or not the government will be involved in that through marriage, more than likely no.
So, a relationship with one girl to the point where you have kids together.
Yeah,
Probably not a contractual marriage.
correct.
Other women involved?
That's a tricky one. I haven't really figured that one out yet. But I think it will come in phases. For example, if I'm with a woman and she's pregnant with my future kid, whether it be daughter or son, and like in that early stages of raising a family and you're living together, probably not, man.
It could fuck up more things than the benefit of that dopamine hit.
Exactly. Like at that point in time, and plus, given my older age at that point in time too, I'm 27 right now. So if I'm in my mid 30s, I just have a hope that I'm not gonna want to do that. You know?
You're like, I hope I can be that. I can have that discipline.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just hoping that I'm not gonna want to do that whatsoever at all. And I don't think I would, just for the betterment of the family dynamic, because though I've met people who do that, and it always causes some sort of issues, whether it's jealousy or contentment. There's always some issue. I've never seen like a perfect arrangement to where everybody's honest with each other and that's happening and you're raising a family. Like that's rare, man. I haven't seen that personally.
Yeah, I see guys romanticize it a lot and like the idea of it, but I've yet to see it in practice functioning over a long period of time without hurting like the intimacy of the relationship. And when kids are involved, I don't know. You know, I'm maybe a bit closer to having kids than you, but I know that when I'm at that point, I'm sure my mindset will change. The kids and their development, and just I think. And let me ask you before I give my perspective on this. How come you want to have kids? Like, why is that important to you?
I want to have kids because I believe I just have this innate biological want to replicate myself. And I think that's just natural. Like I built myself up to be this person. I just want to instill knowledge into another potential human being who also just happens to look like me too. I think that's just a cool idea in itself.
It's wholesome.
Yeah. And through, learning the red pill and all these manosphere talking points, I kind of navigated away from, I always thought that way, but I kind of navigated away from that a little bit because I was thinking about all the cons of having a kid with a woman, especially if you don't marry her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Child support. She's going to take it away from me. Like, I'm thinking
alimony.
Exactly. I'm thinking about all the negative stuff, right? And of course that could happen, but I still think the pros of having a kid outweigh any cons that could potentially happen. And I believe that the way I set my relationship up and just how smart I am with stuff in regards to that aspect of things, that's very rare to happen to me.
Well, that's the average marriage, 50% chance of failure. Mm-hmm. If you're a guy who's built yourself up and you go through the vetting process, you avoid red flags, you're crafting that relationship, training her, and you decide to get married, you choose that, you wait 3 years plus, you're not going to fall into the average statistics.
That's true.
You can still get divorced because my marriage could still fail. Mm-hmm. Anything could fail. But that's the one thing I like to point out is like, you trying to live an average life, bro? The average business fails. Average person's probably overweight, has a bunch of health problems, not making any money, broke. So I don't want to be compared to like the average statistics. Yeah,
that's true. I take account for the average statistics, but I never relate to them. And I think I'm just not average.
Well, then it's okay. No, it's good to be aware.
Yeah.
Marriage isn't just automatically going to work out. It's not going to be this rose-colored glasses. It's beautiful. There's no issues. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't relate to the average statistics.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to set myself up for success and a higher percentage to be the exemption or exception to the average statistics. And if I do so rightly, then I believe I'll be set up for success over a long period of time. But I'm still aware of the potential cons too.
And what are your fears in terms of a marriage, other than it fails and you're paying alimony, or maybe that's not even say marriage? What are your fears to settling down with one girl and having a family?
The fears is mostly just protection of my assets. I think that's the biggest thing. Once you build up certain assets about yourself and business things, to realize that can be taken away from you in whatever percentage, whatever, really is the biggest con to me. And I don't like the idea of how somebody can be rewarded for waking up one random day on a Tuesday, deciding that they don't want to be with you anymore. Like, I just don't like that idea, you know? So, but on the opposite hand, from the woman's perspective, I understand marriage does provide some sort of insurance for me to not do that, because
Like, I'm committing to you. I'm going to go through pregnancy probably for you, and and you're just going to leave me high and dry.
yeah, and that's where the woman just has to trust me. No. That's where trust comes in, man. I trust myself more so than I trust a woman, honestly, even if I've been with her for a very long period of time.
I mean, self-trust, man. Self-trust is kind of self-confidence as well, right? Like, I trust that if the situation gets weird, I can still keep my cool, kind of be calculated, figure this shit out.
But can I trust you on year 17? Or can I trust you on year 23? Because, like, the first 10 years, first 15 years, first 20 years of marriage can be absolutely amazing. But year 21, man.
Is this the one? Is that one, year 21?
You never know, man. Based on what I'm seeing, because I don't compare myself to the average, but I compare myself sometimes to, like, these high status people who are in marriages. For example, Dr. Dre, this person who got divorced, this person. And it never really happens in, like, year 4, year 5, year 6. It's like married 16 years, married 18 years, married 22 years. And I'm like, what happens after year 20, man? Time will tell.
Yeah, no, it's true. But I'm also, high status people don't necessarily vet their relationships, right? I think there's we could probably find a lot of examples of, Fresh Fit yesterday.
Kanye.
They were talking about, well, Kanye, man. Anyone dating a Kardashian, right? But like, they were talking about someone yesterday on Fresh and Fit. I don't. It was some professional athlete who's just like having babies with like OnlyFans stars and stuff, and it's like,
he's just stupid. Yeah,
you're setting yourself up for that, man. Yeah, that's not gonna be year 21 though. It's probably gonna be year 0.
Exactly. most people are stupid, especially if you didn't have options in the first place, and now you're in a position of status and wealth where you have those options and you don't know how to act. That's where people act stupid, and that's
with money as well, right? People get rich overnight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm glad that everything has happened slowly for me in regards to money, in regards to a woman. It was a progression over time. I didn't wake up one day and have $1 million in my bank account. I didn't wake up one day and have like 9 out of 10s wanting to bang me. You know, it was the 6 to the 7 to the 8 to the 9. You know, it happened slowly for me. So
no, for me as well with money, I think that's a blessing, right? Because I developed very like strict financial habits. I still have a deep fear of going broke, but because of that, I had I bought my first car, it was like an Audi for like $35K. It was a used Audi, right? Like 2017, A4. I probably bought it 2018. $35K. I was like shitting my pants buying that thing, even though I had many, many multiples of that in the bank account. It just, something felt wrong about it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm a big believer in just delaying gratification too. I had a C8 Corvette when it first came out. Nowadays you see them everywhere, but in 2020 it was rare to see them. I was in Miami, actually. I was walking out of the hotel. I saw this white one. It was beautiful. And I already have a Camaro, so I love Chevy. And I always love the Corvette, especially the new ones.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I got to get this. Like, I just had to do it. So I searched on the dealership, and there was one being sold in my city for a very high premium too. Keep in mind, a lot over sticker. I'm not sure if they still go over sticker, but at the time, 2020, a lot over sticker.
Yep.
And so I bought it the next week, man. And then that process through driving it and all that stuff, it was fun. But through that, I tend to learn what real happiness is for me. And it doesn't come in the form of material items, I'll let you know. You know, even though that's promoted a lot on Instagram and stuff like that, I find joy in experiences and freedom of travel and stuff like that more so than like sports cars and all that stuff. Watches.
Cars are nice. I do like cars, but I would agree that I would rather have a year of travel plans than a nice car. Mm-hmm. I'd rather.
But if you could do both, why not?
No,
but
yeah, well, no, that's the point. When you get to a certain point of finances, now you also have, when you talk about having options with women, you also have options with like your life, right? I get the car and we'll take the vacation and I don't know, I'll buy a bunch of new camera gear or something, right? But like, or build way too many houses in my case. Like, it's got this damn cycle. But something else that brings me a lot of happiness, I've noted, is just pushing my boundaries and my limits. You know, recently starting this podcast, the work that goes into planning that, traveling, setting up guests, having these longer form conversations, trying something new that I'm not sure I'm going to be able to be successful at, and then kind of like a new business, struggling with that, grinding with that. Same thing we said, going to the gym. If you're afraid of talking to girls, approaching girls. I think to me, even more than traveling or experiences, that's what gives me like the most, maybe not happiness and like a dopamine, like I'm smiling level, but like the most satisfaction.
Yeah, and getting out of your comfort zone and really pushing yourself to your max human capabilities.
What am I really made of? What can I actually accomplish?
Yeah, that is fun, especially once you actually accomplish it too. The journey is always more fun than the goal itself, reaching it.
What's something recently you've, last couple of years, something different you've tried?
Different. I feel like I'm always learning something, right? Like, but it's still in the same aspects of the medium that I'm trying to get better at, whether it be business, fitness, dating, relationships. So to pinpoint like a super new experience or something completely out of my comfort zone, I'm not sure if I can really tackle and say anything regarding. Oh, I guess I started a new business a year ago. That's something new that was out of my comfort zone. That was a risk.
Which business?
My digital Romeo mentorship, teaching guys how to.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that when you were in the phases of starting that up. Yeah.
You know, creating new social media accounts, pivoting more to my vlog channel from fitness within the past 2 years. That was something new for me that I took a risk on. You know, so it's all within the same aspects of each other. So I'm always learning though and trying to.
But it's funny to me because like you struggle to think about it, even though you're doing this on a repeat. But at some point, it almost becomes the norm. That like you get not comfortable, but like I feel like I'm competently handling what I can handle, and that's the point where I'm like, I got to take another bite of something new, right? Now it's the time to like. I think it just subconsciously happens at some point.
Yeah, I just always feel like I have to be working towards or on something. It's
Something challenging, even.
Yeah, for me to be stagnant and just kind of just coasting, I'm not used to that. That's weird to me. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the red pill space and the direction it's heading?
Red pill space. So, as a content creator, I really don't watch a lot of content. I try to create more than I consume. So I really haven't been up to date with a lot of the red pill stuff besides just a live podcast, of course, and different versions of that. But more so, I feel like it's not dying out, but the whole female nature stuff really isn't as crazy as what it was like in 2020, 2019. I feel like more people are understanding the realities, harsh realities of female nature and stuff like that.
To me, it's almost like 2012, 13, 14, let's say. People start to understand if you just track your macros, you can have a Butterfinger and still get shredded, right? Maybe it's not the healthiest thing for like your blood pressure or something, but like, and that all the fitness content all became about like if it fits your macros, full day of eating, FYM, and that was like the rage. But then now it's like fitness. To me, it seems like fitness content is kind of, that's something else I want to talk about. Was me and you both kind of pivoted away from fitness content. It's kind of died down a little bit because like, all right, people, I get it. Like I track my macros. I put progressive overload in the gym. I understand like science-based bodybuilding. I feel like maybe the same thing's happening with like masculinity and red pill and dating advice.
Yeah, to some degree. When it comes to any talking point, you can only say it but so many times. You know, that goes with fitness and also dating stuff too. So dating, I'm curious to see where it gets to, especially the red pill space within the next 5 to 10 years. Like, are we still going to be shouting like, hoes, exercise, you know, stuff like that.
Exercise options.
Yeah, exercise options and all that stuff. I feel like we'll see a replication of what happened in the fitness industry, but also in the dating / manosphere world. And where people, what doesn't die though, is you speaking about your own personal experiences and overall self-development and self-improvement.
Yeah, male self-improvement will always be a thing. It's changed from the old school pickup days we're talking about. Then maybe you got a little bit like bro bodybuilding, if it fits your macros. Lately, it's been more masculinity, return to masculinity, femininity, traditional relationship dynamics. Where do you think it goes next? And maybe it ties into the development between OnlyFans and AI. Like the fabric of culture is shifting very quickly now.
Yeah.
Where do you think it goes next? This like, what do you think in 2 years we're talking? What's like the hot male self-improvement topic?
And I think it's going to go towards finance. Money never dies, man. Every money channel, finance channel, business talk, anything regarding money always does well.
We saw that a bit with the crypto stuff the last few years, and that's died back down. It's died back down.
Yeah, it's gonna go to, I believe, some money trend because people are gonna realize that, yeah, getting girls is cool, but I want money. So I think it's always gonna be redirected to some sort of money. And I've seen that with people in the influencing space as well, whether they started out in fitness or they started out in self-improvement. After a few years, look at a lot of them, it always comes back down to self-development, improving your finances, money, business, something regarding always. It's rare that I see it doesn't happen that way.
So with your content, you were like the calisthenics guy, right? That was like the foundations of your content, right? That's where you built your follower base. That's where you were a little bit differentiated in like this age of like bro bodybuilding we're talking about, where most of it was people working out in the gym. I know you can do calisthenics in the gym, but like weight training, we'll call it, right? And then now you still create some fitness content, but you're a bit more involved in the masculinity, male self-improvement space outside of fitness.
Yeah.
How come you made that change?
I just felt like I had more to share. And it was a natural subject that really not motivated me, but I was interested in. So in 2019, 2020, after I got out of my long-term relationship, which was publicized and everybody knew about her and knew that I was in a relationship. But once I got out of that, I was like, okay, I'm single, adult, male with my new place, first time by myself. I've never had any dating options or been out on dates. Dating was a skill. So once again, I wanted to learn that skill of dating and the process of acquiring women and what that's like, because I never experienced it before.
So it was naturally what you were doing in life, so it made sense to make content about it as well.
Exactly, because
That's the key, man, I think.
yeah, that's any direction I've ever created content in, because I was creating content before the fitness stuff too.
What was that?
Online flash games, Rubik's Cubes I was into.
I never saw that content, man.
Yeah, it's on my
Shit.
old channel. It got deleted. Yeah.
Did it too many Rubik? You did something weird with the Rubik's Cube?
Too much copyrighted music. Yeah.
They eventually deleted it. Normally with YouTube, with this copyrighted music, they just tell you like limited ad money because we're gonna pay it to like the copyright.
Now they do.
Oh,
But
back then
like
they
in
just-
2012,
Oh man,
like if you have too many strikes, they'll just remove it.
that was before I was on YouTube.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't know if you've noticed this, because you're more maybe recently into the masculinity stuff, but I mean maybe we made the shift about the same time. I could use to title, thumbnail, talk about anything in my videos. There would never be, and this is maybe 2017, 18, 19. The damn pandemic changed everything, man. I feel like if in a bad way for society, or at least in censorship and stuff. But like for a while, I could talk about anything. The thumbnail could have anything on there, and nothing would happen. And now we're in a spot where I gotta be careful. So I had a few videos last month, demonetized. One's like age restricted, 18 plus, and then all of a sudden you notice like in the back end, YouTube's kind of killing the moment. Like the channel had a lot of momentum, and they kind of kill it off, and it's
Yeah.
I don't love seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah, it does suck, man. YouTube is always changing, and there's always like new rules and stuff you got to follow. So it just sucks that you got to kind of comply to it. That's why new competing platforms are coming out, like Rumble and other stuff, to kind of go against that.
I don't think they'll gain too much traction though.
Yeah, that's
I would hope that they would, because for me it's not a big deal. I mean, YouTube, I love YouTube in the sense that I've thrived on YouTube, right? Like it's played an important role for both of us. But if all of a sudden I could upload on Rumble and still reach as many people or more people, and maybe there's an argument that we should already be uploading on Rumble. I don't know, just like the same videos.
Yeah. I have a process that's doing that naturally. So whatever I post on YouTube, it automatically posts to my Rumble account. So maybe you should start doing that.
What percentage of views do you see on Rumble versus YouTube?
Bro, I don't even check Rumble, but I know it's like
None.
crazy low. It's very like 5 to 20 views a video. Man.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Super low.
So that's probably not even worth the. I mean, well, if you automate it, I guess.
But it's
maybe.
backed up. I see it as a backup. So for whatever reason, if my YouTube channel was to be deleted,
at least
I have everything backed up on my Rumble account.
So instead of having like a Dropbox, at least it's on Rumble.
Exactly. Yeah. Automatically, without me doing anything, without me paying for storage, automatically. That's what I like.
So for you, and I don't see you talk too much about politics and culture war stuff.
I'm not big into that. No.
Yeah, but that's why I'm actually curious, right? Because I talk to someone who's really into that. I ask a question like this, I'm gonna get like a thesis that they've repeated 20 times. What's been the most concerning thing about like society you've seen the last couple of years?
I would say the gender wars, the politics between like feminism and masculinity and toxic masculinity. I think that's the biggest thing I've seen over the past few years, because I'm also involved in that space too. Clearly, with the rise of Andrew Tate, this, that, toxic masculinity, blah, blah, blah. I think that's the biggest thing I've seen in regards to that everybody can relate to, because even girls I go out on dates with, they'll have strong opinions about so-and-so public figure or this position of feminism, and not necessarily about politics, but more so about, masculinity and feminism and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I think what sucks is it's so engineered, right? And this happens with political issues as well. But like, if what a woman's being told from a young age now is like, this is empowering, you should make your own money. You should chase your own career. And that's fine if girls want to do that. I have no issue. I wish them the best. Like, this is the best success they could have. But they're told that that's right and it's wrong to be a housewife. That's my issue. These things don't naturally, like, it's not like a natural, like, progression. It's like, no, it seems like there was some concerted effort by, I don't know, man, corporate media and Hollywood to, like, this is what we're now going to, like, this is what we want to be pushed. And it's not just feminism. It's a lot. I don't want to get into, like, all these, like, woke ideologies and everything that comes with it, but it feels like so much of it was just, like, the puppet master behind the scenes.
Yeah, especially with all the content people are consuming on TikTok. It's not... most people don't even want to see that. It's just fed to them. Like, you just scrolling your For You page enough times, and most people are on TikTok scrolling for hours a day. They're naturally going to come across those sort of ideals being spoken to them, whether it be like a female influencer speaking to women about this, that, or the other.
Babe,
yeah. So they naturally get just indoctrinated, especially with the younger generation of women and kids in general being 11, 10, 12 years old, consuming that at such an early age. I think that's pretty negative overall.
Yeah, I guess that a lot of that just comes with how much online content has evolved, right? Because when we were younger, I mean, I don't know about you, but I had a flip phone, and my first phone in middle school was a flip phone.
I had a Razor.
I did have the Razor. That was my first phone. I had a nice silver Razor. Oh, everyone wanted the Razor, bro. Yeah.
I wanted a Sidekick.
Shout out to the Razor.
Yeah.
Was he Sidekick?
I wanted a Sidekick, never got it. I got an iPhone instead later.
You know what I got was the BlackBerry Touch was the first touch phone screen before the iPhone came out.
You had the big business phone.
Yeah, the BlackBerry Touch.
Yeah.
It was a touch screen, but you touched it and you had to push in the screen. And whenever it got there could be one drop of rain on like the back of the phone, and the whole thing would stop
Screwed
working.
Up,
man.
yeah.
And then the iPhone came out and just demolished everybody.
Facts, yeah. So I'm curious to see the innovations in technology too. They just announced the Apple headset, so I want to see how that affects.
Let me ask you this: if there was a button right here, and I said you press that button, the technological advancement of everything stops right now, would you press it?
No, definitely not. No. Why would I do that?
I don't know, man. I think where AI and stuff's going is a bit scary.
It's a bit scary, but I believe technology over time does make the world a better place. With AI, through watching the movies and all that, it could take over humanity in a negative way. But I feel that may be able to create more jobs and opportunities to actually use AI and function AI in an effective way, like AI engineering, basically.
That's the optimistic view, I think, right? And that like healthcare and things continue to develop positively, more cures for more diseases, people living
longer. Yeah.
So, and I hope that's what happens. The negative, dark outlook is as more things revolve around like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and there seems to be more government influence on these things, and AI develops and starts removing jobs, and now people need just like almost like a communist like government handout because there's not enough jobs, and then everything starts to become the content, everything starts to be controlled more by the government, and that seems like a dark future. Mm-hmm. Or even with medicine, are things actually developing to help people out? And I think there are, or you see big pharma, you see things happening and seem to be like, or is this just a pure profit machine that's like taking advantage of people?
Yeah.
That's why I think I would press it. I think I would press it
to stop it, man.
I wish there was selective buttons and I could stop AI and keep the medical advances going. But if there was one button, I'd fucking press it, bro.
Yeah, I mean the world. So funny enough, I just watched this documentary on human evolution because I'm into weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
The other day, and basically seeing the migration of people from Africa and over the course of thousands, hundreds of thousands of years.
I was watching this.
You saw it
on Netflix?
No, it's on YouTube, and it's like a map. It's no speaking or nothing. It's just a map, and you just see where people migrated to, and it gives a list of technological advancements within this time period, and it happens really fast. It's like a time lapse.
Okay, I need to watch that.
The video is like 50 minutes long, and it goes to ancient day to modern day.
50 or 15?
50, so really long.
Yeah.
And so through that, I've realized, man, we're at a fast point in technology for sure, but overall technology has made just humans better, more capable.
But is there a limit to that? Is the question. Because obviously, like I think they say some of the first technology was maybe like I don't know. They could even say I guess maybe like a rock to like kill an animal to eat, right? Or like an arrowhead. And now technology's like Chat GPT 4.
Yeah, imagine we have a keyboard, we can type what we want to eat, press enter, and it comes out.
Is it real food though? Or is it like some weird pill that like simulates? Like, oh, this is good.
It stimulates real food and has the same nutrients. Like I find stuff like that cool personally. I'm a big technology guy. I used to post technology videos because I saw myself being the next MKBHD. Eventually, I quit that. But I think that's where my bias sort of perspective comes from. Is because I've always been into technology and the advancement of technology and how that affects humans in a positive way. So, yeah.
Oh, well, look, I hope it develops well and all for the positive things. Maybe I'm a bit cynical. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know for sure I'm cynical when like short forms content started coming out, bro. I was like, nope, not doing it. Not doing it, man. I make creative, cinematic YouTube videos, not doing it. But then it's like, now YouTube does YouTube Shorts. And I'm like, man, all these channels doing YouTube Shorts are blowing up. And like Instagram's like killed the reach and likes and engagement on photos. Shit, man. Everyone's on TikTok. So it got to a point where I was like,
you always have to adapt, especially
I was the
being
old
a
man
creator.
yelling at like the window or whatever. Like, all right, I'm gonna do short form content, and I'm gonna make it dope, and I'm just gonna have to adapt.
Exactly. Either adapt or die. That's natural selection. That's the way it's always been, man.
Yeah.
And now it's like that with the technological age and the ever-moving pace of social media and content.
How long do you see yourself making content for? You're 27, which I didn't realize you were that much younger than me, bro. I'm 33. So like, I don't know.
Yeah, man. I am grateful for getting a head start in my life in regards to creating content and starting my businesses early and stuff like that.
What age were you at?
I started when I was 18.
Okay, and what age did you start like doing fitness seriously?
19.
And what age did you start dating seriously? That seems after that one relationship ended, right?
24.
Okay, and you were building in the business. At what point did you start like monetizing or selling your own products or courses?
When I was 20, 21.
Damn, bro. I started my YouTube channel when I was 27.
My age. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, right.
That gives me more hope, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Man, I don't know if I want to know you in 6 years, though. Slowly, I'm gonna hit a button to stop Austin Dunham.
right. So I am grateful, like really grateful from the fact that I did start so early and so young, but also at the same time, because of that, I do think about the future a lot more because since I've been in this industry for almost a decade, what does the next decade look like? And that's hard to say. In regards to creating content, I can't see myself not creating content unless I'm literally forced to not to, either through health reasons or just literally 2 views. Like literally nobody's watching
If
myself.
I get 3 views,
then I'll stop.
Hey man, 3 views, I make those 3
Then I'll
people
stop.
happy. 2
Even
views,
if I get a few 100,000, I'll still keep doing it because I naturally just enjoy
few
creating.
100,000 views.
Yeah, no, a few thousand, like 2,000,
Okay.
3,000.
Yeah,
I'll still keep
100,000,
creating, man, because I started creating because I actually like doing it. I didn't expect to see any sort of return, profit,
Clout.
none of it, man. It just happened just naturally by accident almost.
But that's what I see with most people who I meet. At least most people who've been in the game for a long time. Me and my buddy Max talk about this a lot, right? Like people who get, and this is the problem now, right? Was we got into it in you got into it even before me chronologically, but we both got into it about the same time. You're just 6 years younger than me, right? At that point in time, it wasn't this glamorous, I'm going to get rich thing. I thought, bro, what I always told myself is if I can like grind up enough followers and grind out enough products that I can be making like $100K a year working for myself, man, that's going to be the best shit. That's going to be the coolest shit ever, man. This is going to be the best. And now it's developed to a point, which is, beneficial for us, right? Because it's, this is where people's attention is more than cable news or even Netflix, you could argue. It can be very, very profitable. But I think the problem is a lot of people getting into the game now, they go in, I'm going to get rich off of this.
For profit
I'm gonna get bitches
first,
off
yeah.
of this. Yeah. And it's tough because you're someone who I know is also in love with making content like I am. You've been doing it for a long time. And I agree. I don't know what that will look like in 10 years, but it'll be something.
Yeah. Even if I think about this too, like I had the fear of going broke also, and like just losing all cash flow.
Yeah.
And I have the confidence in myself through my skill acquisition of managing my own businesses and creating content that I'll always find a way.
Well, you
Like,
did
no
it
doubt.
once. Well, you did it more than once. Really, if you have multiple businesses, you've done it more than once.
Yeah.
Granted, once you have the social platform, it is like an advantage, right? Because it's the initial audience for the product. But
And learning how to gather attention on social media is a skill in itself that I've
Yeah.
replicated across now 2 channels.
and if we went really broke, you would have to, or I would have to, after like being mad and hating myself for a while, like I'd have to reframe it as like, okay, how do I turn this into like the best thing that ever happened to me? You know, how do I come back even? How do I rebuild this shit even stronger?
Yeah. So I have also never had any sort of corporate 9-to-5 job
Never.
or anything like that. My last job was at Home Depot when I was 19 years old, between my freshman and sophomore year in college. And
What did you do at Home Depot?
I was the guy who pressed the carts up and helped the contractors load their cement that they bought in the trucks.
Okay.
I worked from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday, part-time. And that was just a little summer job. And that's the last job I had. After that, I started getting like little YouTube checks. And then that's when I started my business. And then ever since, I never looked back.
It was like a snowball effect, little by little.
Yeah. So, but that wasn't my original path, though. Like, not to go too deep into my story. Originally, I started off as a ROTC cadet in college. My original path was to join the Air Force as a lieutenant, and I dropped my 4th year, my senior year in college, to go do YouTube and business full time.
How many months did you have left? Was it first semester?
First semester, so I had all of first semester and second semester left. But at that point in time, I already knew my job. Once I graduated, what I was going to be, I've sworn in. The Air Force started paying me. I was a contracted cadet with an assigned job already
So how come you quit?
because I was making more than a lieutenant
Through YouTube already.
through YouTube and business. Yeah, yeah. And so I
Did you
left.
face a lot of resistance from like family and friends?
Definitely not. My mom was like,
She didn't want you to go.
Yeah, she didn't want me to do it in the first place.
Okay.
And nobody else really cared. Is more about through my audience, because I was sharing my decision. I was like, ROTC or this, sharing it through vlogs and all that stuff. And people were like, do what's best for you. And it wasn't no resentment, really. Everybody supported the idea.
That's
Yeah.
dope. That's dope. No, it's dope. Your mom supported it. It's dope. That's also something. When I quit my software engineering job, I faced more resistance, honestly, from my friends than my family. My parents were super supportive, and it's huge. It's huge. Huge.
So yeah, it all worked out, man. But regardless, like I said, I have enough skill acquisition now to where I'll find a way to do something.
Yeah, and I'd be okay. I'd be okay going back to living broke, man. There's some like simplicity. Not that I want to be broke, but there's some like simplicity in like.
I'll be okay with being broke. Said no one ever.
I'm so afraid of it, and that's one reason for the multiple income streams. I think in multiple businesses, like really protects. It's like an insurance policy against that. Like I'd rather have 5 businesses that make $500K a year each in profit than having one business that makes what would be 5 million in profit. Like even though I'd be making maybe I don't know at that point making twice as much, maybe not, but like you know what I'm saying. The principle is I'd rather make a little bit less for more streams because there's a degree of stability and security that comes with that.
Yeah, one goes away, you still got 4 more. You can replenish that one. You can work and shake and maneuver.
I think it's also easier from my experience to build a business to, let's say, $500K a year in profit than perhaps scaling one to $5 million in profit.
Yeah, that's pretty tough.
Yeah.
I personally haven't reached that point yet.
I've not reached $5 million in profit from one business. No.
Yeah. So I'm still working on it, man.
So from my experience, that's tougher. I want to talk about a couple of videos you did. So one you DM'd, you got permission from your followers, and you DM'd their girls. Was it their girlfriends always, or was it just like girls they were seeing?
I would tell them to let me know whether or not it was a friends with benefits or a girlfriend. For the majority part, it was girlfriends, especially for the videos. Yeah.
Okay, and the idea was you were seeing if you could not just get a response. Was it actually setting up a date, or just getting their contact info with like the preposition that we're going to set up a date?
Yeah, that one. Contact info with the idea of
like
that we're going to
out
meet.
sometime.
Yeah.
Okay. And what for, let's say, for the 10 girls on average you messaged, what percentage entertained the conversation versus shutting it down? Mm-hmm. What percentage actually made it to like, yeah, let's go on a date. Here's my number.
Gotcha. So in regards to, let's say,
This was on Instagram, yeah?
Instagram DMs. Out of 10, I would say that about 50%, I would say, entertained the idea, like opened the message and like spoke and talked. Maybe two out of those 5 would leave me on red after a few messages, and 3 would give me their contact info, and the other 5 didn't reply or never opened it, or maybe just opened it, left it on scene, and didn't reply. So the actual percentage is a bit
50% divorce rate, 50% girls opening the message.
Yeah. In regards to total, I would say it's about 20 to 30% of girls who fell, but majority are actually loyal. But I'm not sure if they're actually loyal or it's because like they're
50% seem loyal completely.
Yeah.
And then maybe 20 or 30% seem effectively loyal, but maybe open to the hypergamy, open to the options.
Yeah, well, and maybe 5 to 10% will actually meet up with me. Because, girls, they'll entertain and give you content info, but when it comes to actually meeting up, they go ghosts, or you know how girls are.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe like 5 to 10%. But yeah,
is that different than what you expected it was going to be?
Damn, what did I expect? I didn't know what to expect, really. I had no clue. Yeah, it was more like a test for myself too. Funny enough, like guys tell me, send it to me, but at the same time, I get to test a little bit on my text game. I get to practice a little bit, kind of see where my.
Was it only girls in close proximity or not?
No, it was girls across the world, like girls in France. I got family in France. I'll be there next week.
Oh, okay. So you made it seem like logistically possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had the game plan. Man.
How's your French family doing?
Huh?
How's your French family doing?
Oh yeah, they're doing well, man. I'm seeing them this summer, so I'll be there soon.
Yeah, come through and swing through Spain after that.
Exactly.
Spanish family too.
Show me a little bit of Paris. Okay, I'll show you the Eiffel Tower. Gives me number.
Did you stop replying to these girls once you got their number? Did you let them know it was an experiment and they're fucked? Like what happened?
I never let them know it was an experiment. I'll screenshot the messages, then block them, and then I'll send it to the guy. Then they'll be like,
how did the guys respond? Yeah.
Man, guys are always. It's usually. Man, what should I do? Should I leave her?
What do you think, bro?
I'm like, bro, like you clearly want to stay with her, bro. Just go ahead. And I'm not sure if they bring it up because I usually don't hear from them again. But every now and then I got the.
Did any guy confirm he broke up with this girl because of it?
Yes, in the moment. Like I showed him the message and then he, in the moment, oh, F that girl, she's done after today.
You don't know if he followed through.
But I don't know if he actually did it.
And how many total, because I don't know what the volume was on this.
Mm-hmm.
How many total numbers did you get?
At this point, I don't know the volume.
You've run this experiment a couple times, right?
Yeah, and I do it on the side too. Like guys pay me for it on the side through a website.
To test their girl's loyalty.
Yeah,
what's the website?
Every month.
Is it literally just set up just for that?
Yeah, send the link in my bio on one of those videos. You just set up for that, just a checkout page, bro. And they'll DM me.
And you've never even got a confirmation from any of them they've broken up with their girl.
No,
bro. Oh, bro. Oh, man. That's not good.
I had one girl, actually, the logistics set up literally almost perfectly. She was in my city, traveling for some event.
Yeah.
Gave me her number. We FaceTimed.
What was the point of the FaceTime?
Because she wanted to see if I was real or something. Or I forgot. It was some setup.
What was the point of you doing the FaceTime?
To see how far she would go.
Okay.
Like just really testing it. Yeah. Set up the FaceTime. Actually planned I was telling the dude, like, how far do you want me to go? Like, try to do it. I was like, okay.
So the whole time you were asking the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually had plans to literally meet.
And then the guy was like, all right, now call it off? Or?
Nah, she ended up flaking last minute.
So you were going to go on the date and the guy was cool with it?
I probably was going to, I'm not sure what I was going to do, but.
Bro. Hey, I mean, if the guy, it's fucked up if the guy didn't give you permission, but if the guy gave you permission, it's
I think I was going to flake last minute also, but she ended up doing it for me.
Yeah,
like the day of the date, she just
seems like you
replying.
wanted to see how far you could push.
Hey, man, she was cute. I'm not going to lie.
All right, so another video you did, you were talking about like the downsides of being good looking.
Mm-hmm.
Go into that a little bit.
Yeah, man. Women just want to have babies with you really fast.
Is that the main downside?
It's not the main one, but it's definitely one I came across after dating quite a bit. Like girls are pretty reckless when it comes to protection and management, especially if you're good looking and you got your shit together. They, it's like a recipe of husband material.
Yeah, I think that's like maybe at the heart of the red pill or female nature, right? There's very few guys out there who are good looking. But let's put it bluntly: good looking, rich, and not completely shitty people.
Yeah, very hard combination.
There's very few guys like that.
Yeah. So alongside with that, just other perspectives of other people through males and females. People just think you're more arrogant. As I stated before, I get the whole you're different than what I expected conversation every single time. Just negative connotations of you before you even speak with the person is what I've noticed mostly. But it's just definitely more positives than negatives than cons. But I did want to make a video given my perceptions of things people really don't think about when it comes to making yourself more attractive, because everybody thinks it's just all positive all the time.
For the most part, positive.
For the most part, positive.
But there's a couple things to be aware of. Because that video did really well for you, yeah?
Mm-hmm. I guess a lot of guys related to it somehow, some way. I'm always surprised to see that.
Or it's more, maybe it's more like a pattern interrupt. Maybe it's like, wait, what?
Yeah. Like, why is handsome bad?
Yeah.
Maybe that's it, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, wait, what?
That's more better way to think
It might have
about
been the opposite. It might have been guys, because I feel like guys also, and you maybe see this in your digital Romeo course, guys underrate themselves a lot. And it might be guys more who are like, maybe there's validation here that I'm not attractive. And maybe this can make me feel better about being not attractive.
I find the opposite, man. That guys overrate themselves, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I think a lot of guys, well, I see it in my coaching program. A lot of guys think they're super unattractive. We kind of get on them to, hey, bro, you got to change that haircut, man. Hey, bro, you got to, you can't be wearing those pants outside, man. You know, let's rework the style. Let's rework the grooming a little bit. And then let's get you an actual photographer to take some decent photos of you. And then they will go from looking like something every girl's going to be swiping left on to like, oh, man, I'm getting, steady dates now.
Yeah. From a 4 to a 6.5. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, I mean, it depends how rough a guy starts, right? You could maybe have a guy go from, okay, short term, maybe short term +2. But like if you also work on fitness and money, then you can.
Yeah, all that stuff are multipliers
Just
for
about
sure.
any dude could get to probably like a 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Incorporating money and confidence into the rating system, not just like photo.
Given that they don't have any genetic disabilities or formalities in that regard.
Yes.
Regarding black pill content, I feel the true black pillar exists.
Yeah.
The guy who's 5'4", super recessed chin, crazy
like
eyes,
a little bit cross-eyed. Yeah,
stuff like that. So as
That's
long as you have a
tough.
baseline to improve from,
The good news, even if you're that, you can still get fucking rich, man. Even if you're in that spot, you can still get rich. But dating's gonna be tough.
hookers, yeah.
Hey man, we don't make the rules, man.
Yeah, it is what it is. But most men aren't like that, though. That's the thing. Most men are actually
No, that's a small
baseline
percentage.
average.
That's a small percentage.
Yeah, most black pillars are the guys who say that they're ugly are actually just average looking dudes.
Average looking dudes who've not taken any personal responsibility for their appearance or any part of their life, usually, right?
Yeah.
They're kind of like, and that's the bad part of the red pill. The only bad part is that you have the black pill guys who use it as a cop out and a reason to not even try.
Exactly.
And it's like, man, you have some potential here, right?
Yeah, change your location or something. Like there are variables you can.
I think that's the big one. That's one of the biggest things I say is just change your environment, move somewhere you don't know anyone, turn your life upside down, man. Mm-hmm. Things are gonna change.
Yeah, I'm happy to me too.
Sometimes that's what makes you feel like, all right, I gotta be the fucking man now. I gotta actually, like I set the bar here, and I gotta get here. Otherwise, I'm moving back to my hometown, feeling like a complete loser. And some people that will happen to. But it's like,
it's rare that I've seen a guy who actually tried to actually put in a big effort to improve their dating life and attraction with women and not get it. Like,
100%. It's different because there's some guys who are looking for the evidence why it's not going to work for them. Mm-hmm. And that's like, well, I went out and had a professional photographer take a few photos of me and I'm not going to match this, so I'm done. It's done for me. And I'm like, yeah, but you didn't take any of our advice in terms of like your style or your grooming. So like, it's not really a valid. Or this guy took headshots of you that look like they're wedding photos or something, bro. Like this, you didn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes you gotta be realistic too, because those same guys are aiming for the 8.5s, 9s.
You gotta climb the ladder like you did, bro. Like I did too. You gotta climb the ladder.
Yeah, you gotta climb the ladder, and sometimes, like, to some degree, date within like your range. If you objectively, if you're a 6.5, maybe don't go for the 9 blonde with blue eyes and big boobs.
And then and then take that as the evidence that no girl likes you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So be more realistic with yourself.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think that's all I got. Obviously, I'm gonna throw the links below to your YouTube, your Instagram. Anything else you want to make people aware of?
Man, just Austin Dunham vlogs. Just search the name, you'll find it, man. Everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Appreciate it, man.
About to hit a workout now.
Yep. Let's go.
Full body. You're a full body guy, right?
I'm definitely not, but we can do it.
You're not?
No, I like to split up my muscle groups.
Oh, man. The problem is I did a full body workout yesterday, so I don't know today. I think I got to... Did you work out yesterday?
Yeah, I did lower. So I can do upper.
Upper and maybe like RDLs or something.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
That's fine.
All right,
Deal.
cool.